Hello and welcome to Northwest Indian News. I'm Carissa Ramsey, a Tulalip tribal member. Documentary filmmaker Steffany Suttle's latest project explores how Native American women are represented in today's mass media. Featuring actress and comedian Elaine Miles, Fry Bread Babes recently screened at the American Indian Film Festival on the campus of Bellevue College. NWIN's Sherry Macy was there and brings us the story.
For the past 8 years, the American Indian Film Festival has been honoring the works of Indigenous filmmakers throughout North America. This year's festival included 3 films by up-and-coming filmmaker Steffany Suttle. We met with Steffany during the festival to learn more about her creative process and what it's like being a Native filmmaker.
I love the whole process of the filmmaking, from the ideas, percolating to storyboarding and actually, going out into the field with the cameras. Awakening of the Spirit is a film about the Haida Carver Sedutes, who is a boarding school survivor. And this is the first time on camera that he has told a story about his boarding school experience and the effects that it has had on his life. There's one scene in particular that I like. It's a shot of Sedutes and his grandson, Brandon. He's giving him instructions on, this is the proper way to do it, to carve the canoe. And so it's just a special bonding moment with grandfather and grandson. So I was proud to be able to capture that and share it with them and everyone else. I think I would describe my style as trying to entertain, but also maybe inform. They definitely take a life of their own. You may start out with one idea, but by the time the film is completed, it'll be something completely different, and just have to approach it in an organic way and trust in the creator that the piece that you have finished will be what was intended.
Steffany's film, Fry Bread Babes, deals with body image. Steffany worked on Fry Bread Babes with Elaine Miles from Northern Exposure.
The Missoula Cornwall girl. Oh, she's got to be Indian. I want to be like her, because I had long hair, but I wasn't anorexic. I was always like kind of a Fry Bread babe most of my life, so.
She did a thing on round and brown women. We have a little meat on us. So. Steffany, she was a hoot. The first time I seen her, I was like, uh-oh, now what is she gonna do, because she's new. You don't wanna, tell people what to do, but she did it, we went, did our interview, and, so it was good. It was really good.
I'm most proud that that Fry Bread Babes has been as well received as it has. It's won awards. It's been used in a drug treatment center in Oklahoma for young Native people, and it's been used in a talking circle for Native women who've been victims of violence. And I never dreamed, as I was editing my film at the kitchen table, that it would have, been screened in so many places. I have had requests by some Native men to produce a short film in the same vein, but about Native men and body image and identity. And so maybe one of these days, if I can find 6 men willing to go on camera to talk about body image and identity, then maybe I can produce that film. I think the films that they screen at the AIFF are more personal, because the directors are usually very hands-on. They've written the script, or they act in it, they're behind the camera, and they're editing it. They're friends with the band that does the soundtrack, so they're very personal films, and it brings a unique look and feel to the film festival too. I truly believe that if you have a passion and a desire to tell stories and make films, that it is within reach, that you don't have to have a huge budget like a lot of the Hollywood movie makers, that you can tell a good story and tell it well using the equipment you can buy, at the big box stores.
We have so many talented people out there. I see more things being done. So, you know, it's don't give up the fight. You know, it's a struggle for us as natives, but don't give up. You know, just keep a positive mind, as my mom used to say. So.
The American Indian Film Festival shows us that film can help preserve culture and continue the tradition of storytelling. For Northwest Indian News, this is Sherry Macy reporting.
When we return, we'll learn about the search for countless masks, regalia, and artifacts unjustly taken almost a century ago.
The Umista Cultural Center is an important destination for people wanting to learn about the culture.
That story and much more on this edition of Northwest Indian News.
Who says that all good things must come to an end? That nothing lasts forever? That you can't turn the tide for good? For us, protecting nature comes so naturally. We're the tribes in Western Washington, stewards, and have been for centuries to come.
If I stay on the res, I'll be 8 times less likely to drop out of college.
If I stay on the res,
I won't be just another number.
I can learn biology in my native language.
I can use my education to help my people.
If I stay on the res,
I'll be more likely to transfer to a university.
6 times more likely.
If I stay on the res,
There's a 9 in 10 chance I'll finish college.
and I will finish college.
I will learn about the old ways so my culture will live on.
I will make my parents proud.
I'll make my people proud.
Our history will not be forgotten.
If I stay on the res.
I can get a quality education.
At a tribal college. At a tribal college.
If I stay on the res.
If I stay on the res.
If I stay on the res.
Learn more about the 33 tribal colleges and how they're helping Native American people and their reservations. The American Indian College Fund, educating the mind and spirit.
I'm going to stay on the res.
In Alert Bay, British Columbia, you will find the Umista Cultural Center, a facility devoted to repatriating and protecting First Nations potlatch artifacts seized by the Canadian government during an earlier time of cultural repression. The return of these artifacts has not only begun the long process of healing, but has also provided the center with its name, Umista, meaning the return of something important.
The masks that you see in the collection here are a representation of maybe about 10 to 12 different chiefs from different villages, and these leaders of their tribes and their families had surrendered their artifacts and their potlatch regalias and dancing gear in order to keep their people from going to jail during the potlatch prohibition years.
This collection here, which is world renowned as the potlatch collection, because it is those objects that were confiscated by the Canadian authorities when they banned the potlatch ceremony. When they confiscated this collection, it was clearly photographed. We're able to identify from the photographs all of these masks. We've been able to identify some of them that are still outstanding. I don't know if the government was thinking too much when they decided to photograph them, clearly, because all of that has now become our major tool in repatriating it.
Well, there was a lot of different potlatches going on, but the one that really came down on the people was the Dan Cranmer potlatch in 1921, and after that, the police really came down. It was a really big potlatch, and it was something that changed our history forever.
Some of our people went to jail, like I think 45 of them. Some of them were chiefs. Some of them were subjected to lowly tasks such as feeding the pigs. And imagine in another country arresting the king for being the king and putting him in jail and getting him to wash the floors. You know, that's kind of, it's a crude comparison, but it is a comparison about what some of our people went through during the early years of the potlatch ban, and especially when they confiscated this collection and subjected our people to that.
not a lot of people were charged up until that point, and not a lot of people were sentenced, to go to jail. So when this potlatch came down, a lot of things, I think it was used as an example to the people where they really charged people and people went to jail this time, where it wasn't just idle threats and stuff. So I think that at this point, it was a turning point for our people, where a lot of people were really afraid after this, because they realized it was real, and that the Canadian government, along with the police and the Indian agent working together, were going to punish people for participating or for just doing what they were taught to do all their lives, and practice our culture.
However, when they confiscated the objects, they didn't necessarily confiscate the stories and the ownerships of the masks. So we've had to kind of rebuild that where we can. Some of them, we still don't know the original story, the original purpose of some of the masks. Research continues. We can only start to piece things together, maybe find some old handwritten notes from some anthropologist way back when to identify the real owner of some of these objects, or the purpose of some of the objects, the stories behind them.
If you look at this mask, his nose is hooked like he's almost becoming a crooked beak, the central face, and then he's got two little ones busting out the side there as if they're growing out of the side of his cheeks. And then the top black rim is a thick lip with holes in it. And then according to the legends, they say that Bakbakwalanuksiwe had mouths all over his body that were constantly whistling and howling and craving human flesh as he moved about. And then underneath that, he's got teeth that are pegged in there, and then another mouth busting out. So it's like a mouth within a mouth with a little skull inside it. So in our research, we've looked at this over and over, and connecting with that story about that rare, special privilege for a certain family's hamatsa rights, we figure that this is what this mask represents.
The Umista Cultural Center is an important destination for people wanting to learn about the culture, because we've been around for almost 30 years now. Our reputation is solid. Our reputation is respected by scholars. We have a lot of interest from around the world. This week alone, we've had people from educational institutions from Japan, from Spain, from Germany, from Switzerland just this week, and the week isn't over yet. So anybody that wants to travel around the world, wants to travel and learn things about it, and people want to learn about us, this is where they come. You can't get closer than that.
Happens once in a lifetime.
Up next, we'll visit the Lower Elwha Klallam tribe and witness the opening of their new Heritage Center.
Washington's Indian tribes are investing in education. In Auburn, the Muckleshoot tribe just opened a new state-of-the-art $40 million school for up to 500 students in grades K through 12.
The tribe has made an investment in the Muckleshoot people, not just into facilities, but into the people to gain an education.
We want our children to be able to succeed in life. We want them to be able to compete with anyone in the world and achieve whatever they need to in their lives.
The future of our people is threatened by diabetes, but we can fight it by controlling our blood sugar.
I choose healthy foods.
I exercise every day and keep my blood sugar close to normal. I always take my medication.
Control your diabetes because our young ones look up to you. We must take charge for our future generations. Control your diabetes for life. Call 1-800-438-5383.
Washington's Indian tribes are investing in natural resources.
The main goal of the Tulalip Forestry Program is to preserve over half of our reservation in the forestry classification.
The Tulalips manage their tribal forest lands, create jobs, and also work with the U.S. Forest Service in our national forests.
We have a very unique collaborative effort here with the Tulalip tribes to restore the landscape for future generations.
Tribal stewardship of natural resources across Washington is an investment that benefits everyone.
Despite what some might call a slowdown in the economy, the Lower Elwha Clallam tribe has become one of Clallam County's leading employers. With new housing construction, salmon restoration projects, and the opening of a heritage center, there's a lot happening. NWIN's Wayne Messer reports.
Through their spirit of collaboration and many years of building partnerships, many goals and improvements are now taking shape for the Lower Elwha Clallam tribe. Past and present tribal members are creating a period of transformation as numerous major construction projects are nearing completion. A federally funded $16.4 million state-of-the-art fish hatchery is poised to play a significant role in restoring nearly extinct salmon runs to the Elwha River and its people.
And it's just a beautiful river, except it's missing salmon. And having salmon come back is going to make it a complete place for us to enjoy. And I look forward to the day where I can see Chinook and steelhead and coho spawning, where 20 years ago there were none of those salmon species represented.
Finishing touches are being made to the tribe's new emergency evacuation route. In the event of a natural disaster, the transition from tribal land will happen quickly. Families will soon move into eco-friendly homes above the floodplain, built with the assistance from low-income housing tax credits and American Recovery and Reinvestment funding.
I saw an opportunity with the low-income housing tax credit program through the state to build 20 houses at one time.
We have a large waiting list currently. Most of the tribe is youth, so we have a lot more families coming up. And we've developed 49 lots here. We've only built 20 homes, so we do have more plans.
In July of 2010, a celebration was held honoring the opening of the Lower Elwha Clallam Tribe's Heritage Center.
It feels really good. You know, anytime that you start with something very rough and you come out with a finished project that looks this nice, you can't help but be proud of the work that's gone into it by everybody involved. It's something to be very proud of, not just for our tribe, but for the city in general, because this is the start of something big for the city.
The multi-purpose Tribal Heritage Center is home to conference and meeting rooms, a computer lab, kitchen, retail shop, and the tribe's TANF program.
It was a process that we knew that we needed to start working on for the future generations to help them get job ready, to be prepared for a job once they're off the TANF program or that they're going to the high school and graduate.
We want to teach our members in our community to become self-sufficient, to be able to support themselves, to better their lives, and we want to be a part of that. Anybody can be whatever they want to be, as long as they have someone to support them, and that's what we're going to do, is give them that chance to prove to themselves that what they have inside them can really come out, and we're going to be just there to hold them up and do whatever they want to do, whatever they want to be.
With their eyes looking forward and their heads held high, the Lower Elwha Clallam, the strong people, continue to build a better future for future generations. They're strengthening their connections by reaching out and sharing their stories, goals, and culture with the Port Angeles community and the region. For NorthWest Indian News, I'm Wayne Messer.
Visit NWIN.TV, where you can view every episode of NorthWest Indian News on demand, including the stories you've seen today.
So we've had to kind of rebuild that where we can. Some of them, we still don't know the original story, the original purpose.
You can also watch NWIN and other Native programming at canoetv.com. Coming up next, we'll get a look at the excitement surrounding the annual Battle of Nations Stick Game Tournament.
Washington's Indian tribes are investing in jobs. job-creating investments like the $350 million container terminal in Tacoma.
Puyallup Tribe through Marine View Ventures is partnering with SSA Marine to develop a 200-acre, 3-berth terminal, which at full build-out will be the largest terminal in the Pacific Northwest.
Tribal governments are investing in Washington's economy, creating jobs in many different industries. Everyone's working together to make it happen.
Who says that all good things must come to an end? That nothing lasts forever? That you can't turn the tide for good? For us, protecting nature comes so naturally. We're the tribes in Western Washington, stewards, and have been for centuries to come.
The future of our people is threatened by diabetes, but we can fight it by controlling our blood sugar.
I choose healthy foods.
I exercise every day and keep my blood sugar close to normal.
I always take my medication.
Control your diabetes because our young ones look up to you. We must take charge for future generations. Control your diabetes for life. Call 1-800-438-5383.
Welcome back to Northwest Indian News. Stick game is a traditional native game where two teams face off and try to outwit, outguess, and outlast each other. Recently, the Tulalip tribes hosted the annual Battle of Nations Stick Game Tournament, and NWIN was there. Leandra Smith brings us the story.
On the weekend of August 20th, the Tulalip tribes hosted the Battle of Nations Stick Game Tournament behind the Tulalip Hotel and Casino. This year's tournament brought over 140 teams to Tulalip competing for a record-setting $100,000 in prize money. As the games began, the arena filled with the sound of native drums and songs used by stick game players to confuse opponents and to inspire fellow team members.
Chaos, madness, passion, joy, excitement, happiness.
When you're in there, you're a different person. It's exciting.
And the songs are the important part, you know, it really gets, you try to get your team all livened up.
I love to sing, and they sing throughout the whole entire stick game, so I like that. It just seems like you're in an environment where everybody's jamming out.
When I was younger, I can go to any hand game throughout the country, any stick game throughout the country, and I can tell who was playing just by the songs I heard. Every family and every tribe had their own songs and what they sang, you know, and so I wanted to have my kids experience it. So when I initially started the Battle of Nations, I wanted to have these tribes come back together as to unite with one another and bring their songs back into the public and bring their pride and their joy back from what they have in within their own culture.
Stick game is a traditional native game played with two sets of bones. Each set has a special marked bone. While one team hides the bones in their hands, the opposing team tries to determine where the special marked bones are hid. The game is named after the decorative sticks used to keep score.
I know a lot of people say it's a game of luck, but in my eyes, it's not a game of luck. Majority of it is a memory game. Not only it's a memory game, it's also a game of trickery. You know, there's flinching moves, there's head nods. Any kind of movement will always give away another opponent's position and where they're at. So as far as luck, I truly don't believe it's luck.
Some of us are gifted to recognize what hand game is all about and how to respect it. The more we respect it, the more we're in a winning circle. I'm looking up to this tournament. I took third here last year, but look at the crowd. It's a big crowd and they're all good players. You never underestimate your opponent in this gathering in a hand game world. You never underestimate a player.
This year's tournament brought teams from as far away as Montana, California, and Saskatchewan, BC. While the prize money added to the excitement, many players say the real draw is a chance to connect with family and friends and to be part of this amazing cultural event.
A lot of people, when they travel, it's a whole group, you know, coming in buses sometimes, you know, just to come. And it's kind of a good gathering that we have, you know. It's kind of like a family reunion, you know, people that you see from Canada or down south or so, we see each other again.
When you walk into the Stick Game Event Center, you'll see a sign that says, "Welcome Stick Game Family." And we don't call ourselves families, we call ourselves a family because we're all one family.
I think I do this because, like, I don't do drugs or alcohol, so my alternative to that is participating in my culture. And there's a lot of, like, tradition and stuff that's serious, and this is it's serious, but it's not. I mean, we get to play, and I love it.
The way I was told, I go to a tournament, I may not win, but you're a winner, you bring life home, which is true, That's, we go home, we're happy, we're healthier, and keeps you alive, keeps you going.
This tournament is open to the public for both watching and playing. For more information about the tournament or to participate in next year's Battle of Nations, visit battleofnations.us. For Northwest Indian News, this is Leandra Smith reporting.
I'm Carissa Ramsey, and I hope you've enjoyed the stories we've brought to you today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time on Northwest Indian News.